What's good, people? My peeps. This Nino. Thank you for listening to my little 2 cents, my podcast. Appreciate y'all all listening. Thank you, audience. And don't forget, hit that little subscribe button so them subscriptions can build up. Because, I'm trying to do my thing to the fullest, and I appreciate y'all being kind and still riding with me. But continue, because I'm on a journey, and I'm not trying to stop. I'm going to get right into it. It's been 259 days since Gevanta Tank Davis' last fight. Gevanta Tank Davis last night was in a battle versus Lamont Roach. Gevanta Tank Davis was defending his WBA lightweight championship belt. That's 130 to 135 pounds. Lamont Roach has held the WBA super featherweight title since 2023. What I was noticing through all the pregame hype and the weeks following up, or the weeks that was coming up to this fight, Lamont Roach showed a lot of composure. See, Tank Davis can be very intimidating, but Lamont Roach seemed very cool, calm, and collected. He seemed like he was straight up by standing on his own business. And so, it was interesting because all through the week before the fight, you know how Tank Davis usually be an overall favorite or slightly a favorite. But a lot of people was actually, when they was placing their money or saying who was going to win the fight, it was pick 'em. So they was giving Lamont Roach a real fighter's chance, if you know what I mean. So, in reality, Lamont Roach moved up 10 pounds to fight Tank Davis in the WBA lightweight championship. I seen Lamont Roach. As I see this kid looks big for a featherweight. He looks big for a lightweight. I mean, from just what I was seeing from his body structure last night, Lamont Roach looked like he can get up to 160, maybe 165 pounds. Bone structure, big kid. Very impressive, very impressive. This was a good fight, I was very impressed. The fight was held at the Barclays in Brooklyn, New York. Tank Davis has been obviously having a lot of fights recently in the Barclays. The crowd was 19,000 plus. It was celebrities in the house, such as the rapper out of Brooklyn, Fabulous, Fabolous. He was in the house. So, it was on and popping. Former trainer of Gevanta Tank Davis, Calvin Ford, was relinquished of his duties. Gevanta Tank Davis' trainer last night was Barry Hunter. He was a news guy. So I think Tank Davis has been with Calvin Ford for a minute. And that was kind of, that was eye-opening to me. Because, like I said, I know Calvin Ford has been his trainer. I think somewhat his manager for a minute. But I guess Tank decided to switch gears and moved on somebody else. So now this is Barry Hunter first fight as his trainer. The interesting thing between Lamont Roach and Gevanta Tank Davis, that one is from D.C., which is Lamont Roach, and of course y'all know Gevanta Tank Davis hails from Baltimore, Maryland. Very close in proximity to each other. Lamont Roach came in with a record of 24-1 with 9 knockouts. And he had recently been on a 6 he had recently been on a 6-match knockout, which means his last 6 fights before last night, it either was a knockout or it was stopped because he knocked the fighter down. But anyway, you know, Lamont Roach was on the road. Of course, we know Gevanta Tank Davis, 30 years old, came in with a record of 30-0 with 28 knockouts. We know the TNT in the hands of that kid. You know, that's what makes Tank Davis great. For a little small guy, he got dynamite in them hands, straight TNT. Tank Davis is often referred to as Mike Tyson of the smaller weights, with his devastating and just out of nowhere, out the blue, great punching power. Years ago, Tank Davis and Lamont Roach were very young. See, I think this was a key component in this fight too. Not all the time, but they were sparring partners. And I think they sparred a few times. And as the fight went on last night, I could see how Roach and his sparring experience with Tank Davis made him very comfortable. Because, as I was saying, through the fight, Tank Davis usually get his opponents rattled. But if you watch the fight and go back and access the fight, access it to round by round, minute by minute, actually, Gevanta was getting more rattled than Lamont Roach. Roach showed great composure. Roach showed that he belonged there. Roach even showed, as he said in the post-game interview, Roach is him. And this kid wasn't no chopped liver. Man, the fight was great. In the beginning, you can tell the respect from both of them. You know, I guess through the sparring sessions that they had back in years ago, because nobody was not gonna get out of their comfort zone. Everybody, both of them was taking their time, both Tank and Roach. Nobody didn't want to get caught. From rounds 1 to about 3, it was really kind of boring and dull because, as I just said, nobody wasn't gonna extend and get caught and get dropped. They was very cautious, filling out each other. Matter of fact, as me and my comrades and the people that I was watching the fight with, we was out saying, man, this fight has ended up to be boring. Even the crowd at Barclays started booing because it wasn't no activity. But boy, it was yet to come. It was yet to come. I mean, and when it came, it came. You have to, when you face Gevanta Tank Davis, you have to come in there with a game plan. And Lamont Roach certainly implemented his game plan to the fullest. He fought Davis like he knows Davis. He stayed close to Davis. He didn't get in that zone where Gevanta can get you in, and then that striking power arises. Because even though Tank is a little short dude, he still need a little room when he strikes. And really, as the fight went on, you can see, and you can go back and check it yourself, peeps, if y'all haven't checked it out. Lamont Roach really crowded Tank Davis. You know, he really kind of took the fight till Davis. Now, you know, Gevanta still gonna have his moments, you know, because like I said, rounds 1 to 3 was kind of boring. It started to slightly picking up, like about 4 to 6, and then on into the later rounds, it got real good and spicy. I mean, it got good. Man, it was cool. So, all of that time Lamont Roach has sparred against Tank Davis, it really benefited him as I seen it. And I know it's been fights in the heavyweight division. It's been fights in the welterweight division. It's been fights this have went on that both other the competitors have sparred against each other, but still the one competitor dominated. But not tonight. I mean, you know, look like they sparring had both of them very cautious, and definitely it worked, in my estimation or my opinion, to Lamont Roach. After the 6th round, personally, I think Davis' thought process was he's going to have Roach, or it's about time for him to knock Roach out. Because, see, usually from Tank, Davis is a slow starter because he's going to take his time. But usually from rounds 5 to about 8, that's when Tank is ready to turn up, and usually he is finna go for the knockout. But, like I say, after 6 and 7, Tank Davis knows he was in this fight with a little buzzsaw. And that what was Lamont Roach was. He was a buzzsaw. Definitely that. Strategic though, but I have seen him hit Tank with some power punches. And actually, one time he caught Tank and Tank stumbled. I thought Tank was going to go down. But one thing we have learned and all loved about Gevanta Tank Davis, much punching power he has a strong chin. He can take a punch too. So, you know, that's how it was going. I mean, the fight really kind of gained energy as it went on. Now, the weirdness of the fight that came in the 9th round, and that I was seeing, as I was seeing, Roach really picked it up after the 6th round. I mean, in my estimation, from round 6 to 12, Lamont Roach, to me, won maybe 4 or maybe 5, but at a minimum he ran 4. But in the 9th round, as they was, you know, getting it in the ring, out of nowhere, Gevanta Tank Davis took a knee to the mat. And the action halted. But the referee didn't give Tank Davis a standing 10 count. He didn't give him nothing. Tank Davis, he took his knee to the mat, he stood up, he went to his corner, and he was gesturing like something was wrong with his face. But like we said, even the commentators even said, why didn't Tank Davis get a standing 10 count or a count after his knee touched him? Because if your knee touched the ground or you take a knee to the ground, that's considered as a knockdown. The fight really got on very good. I mean, the fight was really good. It was really picking up. Lamont Roach really showed that he was somebody that wasn't he showed that he was somebody that the bright lights wasn't taking him out of his element. Lamont Roach, I see now, whereas he coming from a featherweight, a lightweight, or a welterweight, he can do damage in the WBC or the WBA boxing game. He is now a fighter that you need to, and I'm talking to promoters, keep your eyes on, because Lamont Roach is the real deal. And I'm not just saying this from last night against Tank Davis, but Lamont Roach seems like he's a real new, possibly rising star. Now, we need to see more of what he can add to his resume, but You know, I like Roach. I like how he came in. I like how he didn't get off his game plan. Even when Tank had it turned up, because see, remember, basically the Barclays crowd was for Tank Davis. Even though Roach had some fan support, they came down from DC, but you know, Tank Davis has made his home out the Barclays, so majority of the Barclays was hollering for Tank Davis. So the fight went the whole 12 rounds, and now we got to the decision. And this where the controversy came again. We had 3 judges. One judge had the fight 115 to 113, Gevanta Tank Davis. The other 2 judges had 114, 114, 114, 114. We have a majority draw, in which I told my people, I know that was going to happen. Think about it, people. But Lamont Roach really won this fight, because when Tank Davis touched down his knee in that 9th round, I don't think they credited Lamont Roach with points that possibly could have helped him win the fight. Also, think about it too, peeps. If you was a big bettor last night, you know I know people was betting, and me myself, I'm not going to even lie. Even though I'm impressed with Roach, I would have betted on Tank Davis because I like Gevanta, and he has proven himself. But think about the people that lost money last night. You know who was the clear winner when it came to the bag last night and betting on that Gevanta Tank Davis versus Lamont Roach fight? Vegas. Because with the draw, all the money goes back to Vegas. This is Nino with another 2 cents and 2 pennies, giving my assessment of last night's Gevanta Tank Davis versus Lamont Roach. The WBC lightweight championship of the world. In the post game, both Tank and Lamont said they are down for a rematch, and I think they are. I think that should go down too, because Lamont Roach again is a true fighter, and him and Tank deserve another date to clear the drama. We need a clear-cut winner, not no draw. And again, as I was talking to my son about it, I just think Tank Davis is now getting a little bored. He done beat everybody. I think Tank Davis is waiting on that one big fight, that one fight that will have social media, that will have the nation, that will have the analysts, ESPNs, all these major sports outlets salivating at their mouth. Gevanta Tank Davis versus Shakur Stevenson. I mean, they need to get that done and get it on. This is Nino. Thank y'all for chiming in. Thank y'all for listening to me. I appreciate y'all. God bless. Love.